Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Smoking, a Japanese television series from 2018 that is 12 episodes long, with each episode lasting only 23 minutes each. Genre classification here is probably crime thriller. Now, seeking a greater justice, a band of homeless assassins flay their human targets and deliver the tattooed skins as proof of a contract fulfilled. So yes, our protagonists in this show are a group of hitmen who murder and skin people, preserving their tattooed flesh in some kind of like a solution in like a glass like jar, and then they kind of present it to their contractor or whoever hired them as proof that they effectively killed this person. The show follows their jobs and conflicts with the criminal underworld. All right. Now, our main characters, not the most complex individuals, but we do get a pretty good feel for their personalities as the show goes on. We also get their backstories later on. And to the show's credit, I did like their makeshift family unit, and I wanted to see them stay together at the end. However, one problem that I do have with this show is that most of the hitman assignments are pretty short-lived and really not that interesting. The story moves really fast, with like new side characters popping in and then leaving or dying off very quickly. For at least like the first half of the show, like every villain is introduced and then killed off almost immediately within the same episode. And remember, these are short episodes, so that kind of limits like any escalation of conflict or build up or anticipation, you know what I mean? Which I think is a problem for the show. Also, a lot of the bad guys are just wafer thin, like obnoxious, cartoonishly evil psychopaths, who don't, and the funny thing is they don't even put up much of a fight when they're confronted by this hitman crew. Most of the time our protagonists will just show up and they just wipe them out with not a whole lot of trouble. But thankfully, some of these problems are partially rectified during the later episodes. There are a few primary villains that are, they kind of rise to the top and stick around for a little while, which I did appreciate in the later episodes. Casting also helps. We get Ryo Ishibashi from Audition. He's our lead actor. Always nice to see him and stuff. He has some serious screen presence. I've also been noticing Nobuaki Kaneko recently. He had one of the more interesting characters in Alice in Borderland. He has like, I don't know, he has like this suave coolness about him that I really like. I like this actor. I need to check out more of his stuff because I've only seen maybe a few or a small handful of his projects so far. Kazuya Takahashi shows up later and gives an expectedly intense performance. If you've seen the Japanese horror film Puzzle from 2014, he plays the kind of like the corrupt cop who's like the father of one of the evil kids. And I like him too. He's a guy that you don't really think of in terms of name recognition, but every time he shows up, he's good. And then on top of that, we get a few big-name Japanese actors, especially one big one later on, which I will not spoil. So this has a pretty solid cast to it. And despite some of my complaints that I had, that I mentioned, it's still even somewhat entertaining during the weaker episodes. The pacing and the violence are going to please fans of darker Yakuza crime tales, all right? It's not really an action show, so don't expect any action set pieces. This is squarely within the kind of like bloody crime thriller style of film. One thing this film truly excels in is violence. And there's a lot of violence, and it gets nasty, even a bit mean-spirited, even towards women and children. So it's, there are a few disturbing moments in this show. There are, so be warned, okay? I could see some people really not liking the show. When I started it, I was even a little bit iffy on it because it's kind of abrasive and it's also kind of shallow. You know what I mean? Like I said, you do get a little bit more of character work a little bit later on when you start getting the backstories of these guys and stuff like that. But this isn't deep stuff here. You know what I mean? This is kind of by the book, violent Yakuza stuff. But I did moderately enjoy it. I did moderately enjoy this show, despite its flaws. Currently streaming on Netflix, so this one's a little bit of a risky play, I think, for people. But again, if you like fast-paced, pretty violent and mean-spirited like crime type stuff, you might like it. You might like it. And as always, we will see you next time.